Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good day as always. So I just got back from Cuba and I'm now inspired to make a video all about saving money while traveling. I'm definitely no travel hacker or anything like that, but me and my girlfriend have been doing a lot of traveling the past few years. For total transparency, I just got a passport when I was 27. I had done really almost no international traveling before that. And I probably never really wanted to. It wasn't on my radar because I felt like it was such an expensive thing to do. And now that I've done it, I've totally seen how beneficial and worthwhile it is. But there's definitely things that we can do to make sure that we save money while we're doing this stuff. So that's what I want to talk about today. If you're new to the channel, definitely make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. We talk about all things personal finance related and making smart financial decisions. Also, while I enjoy making these videos, I'm definitely not an expert on all things personal finance, let alone traveling. So if you've got any better suggestions or advice or tips, definitely put it in the comment section down below. Now, as to the video topic on hand, saving money while traveling, let's go ahead and start off with probably the number one thing I would recommend to everyone, and that is plan ahead. Okay, when it comes to flights or booking your accommodations or getting your passport or your visas ordered, the longer you delay and put off getting this stuff done, the more expensive it's going to be. Right? But when I first got the passport because we were going to Morocco, I waited too long. I had to pay to get it expedited. Same thing with the visas. I spent hundreds of dollars more than I really needed to. Like if you were to look at flights, for example, right? If I go from Austin to, let's say, Thailand next week, it could potentially cost me $500 more than if I were to plan this a couple months in advance, right? So go to Google Flights. Like if you know you're going to be taking a trip, go to Google Flights, say I'm leaving out of this city, and I want to find out where in the world can I go for, let's say, under $500 or under $200 within the next 6 months. And it'll literally show you the entire globe and flights that are leaving out of the city that you're departing from, and which flights you can take for all over the world for however much money. It's a really, really cool tool because you can pretty much find the deals. And if you're flexible and you can start really, really early in planning this stuff, you can go to so many great places for really not that much money at all. So the long story short is, do yourself a favor, book all of your stuff in advance, and save hundreds of dollars in the process. Next, I want to say, definitely do not be afraid to go someplace truly different than where you currently live or where you're from. And I know that no matter what, whenever you're traveling, it is different than your hometown, but I live in the United States, I live in Texas. If I were to go to Canada, yeah, it's another country, it's a little bit different, but it's not that different. It wouldn't be like I'm shell-shocked from how different things are. Whereas on the other hand, when I went to Morocco, when I went to Vietnam, I just got back from Cuba, all of those places are radically different than what it's like for me at home. However, the benefit and the luxury of that is oftentimes, when you go to these places, you can live like a king for not that much money. And I hope that doesn't sound bad, but it's just kind of the reality of the situation. Take Thailand, for example, or Vietnam, really just Southeast Asia. I had such an amazing time there, and you could honestly pay for accommodations, eat, and transportation all for probably less than $20 a day. And I'm not exaggerating there. And it's not to say that you're going to be in a penthouse suite and everything is glitz and glamorous, but if you're trying to save money while traveling, definitely don't be afraid to go to places that just have a lower cost of living. Even if it means a flight might be a little bit more expensive, if you can stay there long enough, you will easily offset that flight difference than if you were to go to some place, let's say like Europe, where transportation might be a little bit cheaper, but food and accommodations are going to be more expensive. So definitely don't be afraid to get outside of your comfort zone. Okay, number 3, let's go ahead and talk about visas and vaccines. Those things don't necessarily go hand in hand, other than the fact that they're probably going to cost you money to get. But not every country requires a visa or a vaccine. And I say this again, talking about Southeast Asia. If I went to Vietnam and Cambodia, I had to get a visa to get into both countries. Likewise, there were certain vaccinations I had to get to enter those countries, or it was smart for me to get those vaccinations. Thailand, on the other hand, I didn't have the same requirement. Cuba, I didn't have the same requirement. Morocco, I didn't have the same requirement. So if you're trying to find out, hey, where can I go? Maybe it's a lower cost of living there, and I want to save even more money, check out the visa situation and check out the vaccine situation. Certain visas really aren't that expensive, but it can be a lot or I should say a very cumbersome process to go through. So if you don't have to deal with any of that, why do that? And if you can save some money, definitely do that as well. So do a little bit of research. Again, this kind of plays into starting your homework early, but do some research, find out what you need to do to go to certain places. And again, it's just a very easy way of saving some money. All right, number 4, let's talk about traveling in the off season. This kind of ties into doing your homework and finding out what times of year are the slow points for traveling to a certain country and when are the busy times, the peak travel season. Because you definitely don't want to travel at that point. Prices tend to be a little bit more inflated as opposed to the low season, right? So accommodation costs should be lower, transport costs should be lower. Whenever it's slower, people who rely on tourism often are going to give you discounts because there's just not as much demand. So use that to your advantage. Also, in my opinion, you'll probably enjoy that trip a little bit more because not everything's going to be so chaotic as it can be when it's in peak season. So again, this kind of ties into number 1, planning ahead, but go during the off season because it does translate into savings. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is when you travel, do your best to act and be like a local, okay? There's so many ways to save money by doing this when it comes to transportation. Rather than paying for private transport from point A to point B, take a public bus, get a group taxi, do everything you can to be like a local in order to save money. This translates to food as well. Like, eat where the locals eat. If it's street food, buy street food. Like I'm telling you right now, when we were traveling throughout Southeast Asia, like you could get a good meal for about 25 cents. Again, not a lie, it was fantastic, and it costs a tenth of maybe what some of the restaurants nearby would charge you. So if you can eat like a local, do it. If you can travel with the locals, do it. If you can live with the local, like Airbnb in a lot of these countries are so cheap. Again, accommodation can be a really, really expensive part of traveling, but if you can find ways to stay with a host family, not only will they help you learn your way around the town or the city, but quite often they're much cheaper than anything else you can do. So pretty much in every way you can, avoid falling into the tourist trap of paying tourist prices for everything, and instead do what the locals do, save some money, and in my opinion, you'll get a much more authentic experience of the country that you're traveling to. So all in all, those are my 5 very easy tips to save some money while traveling. Again, this has just been something that I've learned from because I made a lot of these mistakes earlier and I don't want you to do that. But also, if you're a more experienced traveler or you have other stories, definitely put in the comment section down below. I would love to learn from you because I do plan on doing a lot more traveling and I would love to save some money. But that's what I want to talk about today, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share. If you feel like supporting the channel in any way, I've got an Amazon and a Patreon link down below. Any help is greatly appreciated. But thanks for watching. Make smart financial decisions, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, I know I just said this stuff, but let me say it again. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate all the support that you guys give me. And to support you, here's 2 more videos that I've made in the past in case you haven't seen them. Don't forget to share these with your friends and family so we can help all the people achieve their financial goals. Likewise, if there's anything that you would want to see made that you haven't seen thus far, definitely don't hesitate to let me know. But thanks again, take care, and have a good day.